Hey everybody, Shake and Bake here from shakespub.net. It's late night in the gaming cave and I'm just relaxing, and I saw not too long ago a IGN video on this game. I've been following this game for a while, but when I saw the video with their lead developer, I thought, now it's time to start my playlist of No Man's Sky and share it with you. Some of you who've subbed to my channel, you might not know about this game. You might know some things about this game, but maybe you don't know totally about this game. I am going to tell you why, for me, this, in my 30 plus years of gaming, this is probably one of the most anticipated games for me probably ever. And I'm going to tell you why shortly. Okay. I'll try to keep this not too long, first video. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I am going to, as these come out, which are going to be coming out on IGN up to the release date, June 21st. I will be featuring more of these videos, kind of spotlights, and also will be doing a whole play series on my adventures in No Man's Sky. $59, June 21st. Let's jump to this trailer that I was talking about a minute ago from today. And I'm actually going to mute the sound. I'll put the link to the trailer. You can actually listen to the interview, but I'm going to use it more for a backdrop of what I find so amazing about it. Here's this guy, Sean Murray, founder of Hello Games. This guy is, in my eyes, if the game is what he has shown and described to me, he's a freaking genius, and I think is going to change the landscape of gaming. And I'm going to tell you why here. Small studio, real small. In fact, initially their studio got flooded, lost all their work. They bounced back. Sony invested in them. This is going to come out for the PS4 and the PC. But what is so amazing about this game, and watch this footage and listen to the interview, but what's amazing, what he's showing now, is just like kind of gameplay. And this is kind of the first time he's just shown 20 minutes of kind of what it's like to play in the game. And here is what I'm first talking about in this first video is why I am so excited about this, why I think this is going to change the face of the gaming. Okay. Now, most games nowadays, you see those trees and the bushes and rocks and things like that, right? Most games, you have 3D artists who are making static meshes, props in the game, whether it's trees, bushes, rocks, buildings, you name it. The more there is, big AAA titles have hundreds of 3D artists who are in there designing these props for the game. It takes a lot of people to do that. The way he explained it is they knew going into this, to do this, the sheer scale of this game, that they knew a small team, you just don't have enough hours and manpower to create all the assets for a universe, let alone, even if you had a big map, it's just not possible. Now this guy, so what they do, what he does, I don't know if it was him or them, we'll just say them for now, is they create their own engine. He said that he knew that the other engines weren't going to meet their needs. Creates an engine, and basically, instead of you see the props in a world, right? Like I said, buildings, trees, all that. Instead of designing each of those, one by one, as props, the way I understand it is basically this is all mathematically driven with equations and sub-equations, very complex, he said, that generate basically all of the content. Now, this is where it starts to blow your mind. So, so you don't have, a room full of 3D artists designing all the different things. Basically, these mathematical formulas using variables within the engine. I'm guessing various textures and parameters and blah, 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 way over my head, are generating these things. But not only are they generating them, there's nuance in the generation, from what I understand, so that it's all randomly generated. But, you know, trees will generally look like trees, but they'll all be different. NPCs, animals, will kind of look like animals, but basically be all different. You know, so the variables provide randomness, but yet keep them somewhat in a context or framework. So yeah, I'm really getting into this. And so now you take that part. So now you basically take a small team. If this eventually, he shares this knowledge, right? And you know, we've had procedural generation in maps and things like that as you're exploring, but this idea of a universe of procedural generation going on, of randomness, right? Is crazy. No loading screens, nothing. Here's how they do that. And this part here is, for me, it blew my mind. I think this is where I think this is going to change the face of gaming. I'm going to tell you why. So as you move, like right now on the screen, you see them moving. You only see for a certain range, which is far from what I've seen the draw distance. You only see a certain range, but basically there's nothing else around. So as you move, everything you've walked by basically disappears. So you only see things, they're only generated real time within the sphere of that player. You know, he'll go off into space here later, and basically as he pulls away from the planet, all these trees, the reality is the trees, all of them really disappear. You know, what this means is performance. You don't run into performance issues like you would if those assets were staying around longer. They're basically only visible when they need to be. They're generated real time. They're not there. They're not there till that mathematical formula says make it there. So he even showed it demonstrating. There's going to be caves as well. As you can see, this was new here. This showing the underground caverns and stuff, and transformation of the ground, deformation with that tool. But he showed in a ship where he was flying, and he was booking, and the math was able to keep up fast enough to generate this world around the ship as it traveled over this planet. So it's not like it's going to be this slow loading equations that's going to bog down. From what I've seen of the video footage like this here, you don't see any lag, nothing. I mean, nothing. And it looks incredible. 99.9% of this game, of this universe, of the different solar, all will never be seen by players. Think about that. You will start off on a planet, your own planet. You could choose to leave, whatever. Leave that planet. And you may not, and as you journey wherever you go, you may not even run into another player. He says it could be rare. 99% point whatever, you won't even see. That's how crazy this is. So how does that, what does that for me mean in regards to changing the landscape of gaming? This is what it, I think, means. So, you know, I like to play shooters, guys. You know, World War II, you know, like sandbox ones. Like, look at let's and we're going to use Heroes and Generals as an example. You know, sandbox maps. You know, you got pretty wide open, a lot of assets in the map. Think if you took this technology, this knowledge right here, and think if you applied that to a World War II game, let's say like Heroes and Generals, and instead of the battle being in a town, we'll talk about airfield map or any of these other maps on there, right? You could generate all of Europe. Think about that. What if you could generate with this technology, which he's doing here? What if you could generate all of Europe as the battle is fighting right in front of you? As you take one town, this procedural generation through math equations generates the next town and the next town and the next. I mean, think about that. Now, I could be way off, but I don't think I'm too far from. I've watched a lot of these videos and listened to what he's saying, and I think I'm right. Here he shows now some of these buildings. And there's actually NPCs, aliens you interact with other than the NPC creatures. And there's different kinds of alien life with different kinds of, some are more adventurous type, friendly, some are more warriors. It sounds like different spaceships. And the thing that again, just that technology I described, to me, I really think is going to change the face of gaming if that's something he shares and other people pick up on this, is the exploration, the freedom. Like, I mean, to me, there's gonna be something really cool about no loading screens, flying through this procedural generated universe, maybe running into somebody, maybe not, discovering my own planets, naming things, finding things, to me, it sounds like a game you could play for years and years, it seems like. That is what has me so excited. I love the look of it, kind of in between cartoonish, sci-fi-ish, realistic kind of looking. I like that whole look. So I think that's long enough of going on. I'm going to be doing more videos. I'm really, really excited. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, especially the part about, do you think this is going to change the face of the gaming? I think it is. No other game in my experience has done this. Usually there's loading screens. You don't see the randomness of assets and NPCs like we're seeing in this. You don't hear about basically a game driven by mathematical formulas that's generating all this stuff. I think they're brilliant, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Put the link to this trailer. Check it out. Listen to the developer. It's going to blow your mind. It's blown mine. And look at this creature up ahead. Again, all random stuff going on. It's just wild. And there's this survival element, the cold weather. I mean, you got to survive on these planets. And it's not just roam around. There's this kind of almost RPG, crafting, survival, combat. There's a lot. He talks a lot about the gameplay here, so check this video out. Guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cheers, peace again. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for likes. And I'll see you next time.